Okay, so my name is Katie Sparks. I'm the STEM and computer science coach for MCCSC, and I am just kind of here to moderate today. I'm going to turn it over here to Chelsea and Mitch here in a minute, but I do want to give a quick intro just to kind of set up our day. Um, this is a time that a lot of teachers requested, which is just basically a time to collaborate with other teachers in the district and kind of hear what went well, what you're planning for the year. Of course, we don't really know what the year is going to hold. We're starting back in person, but at any point this year, we could have to transition to online again, depending on what happens with the pandemic, of course. So we want to be as prepared as possible. I know in the spring, it kind of felt like a huge change at the drop of a hat. And so we're hoping that we can feel a little bit more prepared in the event that it happens again. So we are strongly recommending that you start using Canvas with your students early in the year, maybe not day one, but within the first week or two. That way, if we do have to transition to online learning, your students are familiar with Canvas, they know how to log in, they know what buttons to click to get to their assignments and things like that. So just getting them used to the navigation and making sure everything's organized is going to be really key, especially for those younger grades. So we have Chelsea from Grandview and Mitch from Rogers, who are going to share with you their Canvas courses and some things that they did either this spring or this summer, or things that they're planning for the fall. And then we also want to save some time at the end for anyone else that's on this call to share some best practices. We really just want this to be an open conversation for our K-2 teachers to share, what's working well. We know that K-2 is a really hard age to teach, period, but especially when it's online. So we're all hoping to come together and come up with some best practices here today. And like I said, we will record this so you can watch it again and be reminded of some of those great ideas in the event that you will need them if we have to shift. So I'm going to turn it over now to Chelsea, and she's going to jump in. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll try to address those. Or if they're specific to what Chelsea or Mitch is saying, I'll try to throw them out to them. And of course, if you have any questions and you want to just unmute yourself and jump in, that's fine too. All right, so Chelsea, take it away.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for spending some of your summer and your afternoon today joining us. I'm hoping that between Mitch and myself, we can share some helpful tools that will help you feel more comfortable in getting your little kindergarten, first or second graders using Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with everyone, and I'm going to take you to our slideshow presentation. I don't know, Katie mentioned I teach at Grandview. This is going to be my 4th year of teaching first grade. I've taught other grade levels in the past, but this is my 4th year with first grade. And with any first year in a grade level, it's like, just everything's new. You're just trying to piece everything together. Second year, you kind of have a better plan. Third year, you feel like you've got it. Now this year is going to go, and this is going to feel like a first or second year again for me, even though it's my 4th year. So getting our kids using Canvas, it'll be an interesting ride, but hopefully we can get, a plan going to get started that first week. So here is just an overview of my Canvas page. This is my sandbox course. And so I recommend doing a sandbox course because you can actually just drag over any material from the spring that you had used in your Canvas course. You can drag it over. You don't have to bring everything over. If there's something you used or didn't use and it's there, you just kind of pick and choose the course content you would like. So this is my home page. This is just, I used a lot of images to make it kid-friendly this time around. I feel like in the spring, I was really gearing more of my Canvas page was towards parents because our first graders had not used Canvas really and in the classroom, so it was pretty wordy. So I wanted to change it up. I used a Bitmoji, and later on in just a couple minutes, I'll show you kind of like how I got these images here and how I linked them to different pages. So these first two, I just put these in, and they go to a page, but the page doesn't have anything in them. So if I hover over it, it tells me what page it goes to. This is just so if we've got, if we do go to a shutdown, if we're teaching from home, then I'll have digestible bites of what we'll be doing for that week for students to go in and see their activities. Or if there's a student who's going to be out and I want to put the activities in there for the week, that's where they can go. This is where I would think I'll put like past activities for first grade. If there was an activity they liked doing, like a Jack Hartman math video or something that we had in the past, and they can go back and find those. This one actually does go to a page that already existed in the spring. This is where our special area classes had all of their information. So I'll just click on it real quick and show you how that image, the students could just find, oh, I need to find my art packet. They just click on that Bitmoji. Virtual tools, this one goes to a page that I created not too long ago. This is where my students could go, and these icons actually are linked to these different websites as well. So that can be, helpful for students, so they're not having to click too much around. My goal was just to pretty much get everything on my home page. This is where my read alouds. I used this module a lot in the spring. I recorded a different read aloud every single day. That's why there's so many. I think maybe to make this a little bit more kid friendly, I could spend some time finding images of the cover of the books and make those into links to take to my YouTube videos. So that's just kind of an idea that I'm playing around with for the future. I'll go back to my home page. And then I've got the schedule here that was put out by MCCSE, just that learning schedule of just spending 30 to 60 minutes active learning. And then here's where I would put like my welcome letter for families. I've got resources in there on how to keep their child focused at home. So going back to our slideshow presentation, that's just kind of my overview of my Canvas page. Now I'll kind of show you how to do that, how to make those images go into your Canvas page and link them to pages or modules. So this is something I'm not going to show you today, but if you want to go back and watch a tutorial on how to create your Bitmoji, maybe you're in a position where you're just wanting to know how to create a Bitmoji and adding backgrounds and furniture and all of that. This tutorial I found is really, really good. It goes in depth. It's 19 minutes long, so it's kind of long, but she's got this great table of contents with timestamps. So if you already know how to create your Bitmoji, you don't really necessarily need that information. You could skip ahead on how to get
Hi,
your
baby.
Bitmoji onto your computer.
Baby.
Hi,
Hi, baby.
start right there. So moving forward, I've already created my Bitmoji. I've already created the images that I want. They're just on my computer. Now I want to know how to get them onto my Canvas page. I've got this link here for you if you go back into this presentation and you'd like to find the instructions, but you don't want to watch we're going to watch my tutorial in just a minute so I can show you exactly how I did it. If you don't want to go back and watch the tutorial, this Bitmoji, if you click here, will take you to step-by-step instructions. So let's say you're like, oh, I already know how to do steps 1 through 6. I just forget what to do after that. These are step-by-step with images just to walk you through that. So let's go ahead and watch my tutorial on how I put images into Bitmoji or into Canvas. And you don't have to use a Bitmoji if you're just wondering how to put any sort of image in and make it a link to something else. You could just do that as well and just not do a Bitmoji. It could just be any other image on your computer. Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to embed new images that you have on your computer but you want to put into your Canvas page, and then how to add a link to those images to take students right to a specific page that you have made on your Canvas course, or even a module that you have on your Canvas course. So here I'm on my home page, and this is the page that I'm going to show you that I'm going to edit and add a new image to. But let's say you're not on the page that you want to be on. So you're going to go down here in the sidebar menu to Pages, and then go ahead and view all pages. And then you would find the page that you are looking to add your Bitmoji or some other image or icon to. So I'm going to go back to my home page. That's my front page. Once you're ready to edit that page, go ahead and click Edit. And then you've got your Canvas workspace down here. I already have some images. If you are starting to just get started on adding images, then you're going to have a big white space. So I'm going to go and put my cursor in the area where I want to put a new image. So I actually want to put a new image right here between where I've got my Bitmojis for my special area classes and my read alouds Bitmoji. So this is where I'm going to add an image. And the first way I'm going to show you is embedding an image right here by just clicking the little embed image icon. It's going to open up this new window for inserting or editing an image. I'm not getting it from a website. I am going to put it into my files. So I'm going to go to Canvas, My Files, just click on My Files. This is where I've just been dropping in new photos. So we're going to upload a file because it's on my computer. So if you're using Bitmojis, in the other tutorial that I shared in this Google presentation, this Google slide presentation, the teacher who made her Bitmoji, she will show you how you need to screenshot them to get them from your Google Slides into your computer. So I am going to go on my desktop. This is where your screenshots will go. The most recent screenshot that I have is this one just called Screenshot. And I am going to click on that one. This is the one that I actually want to put into my Canvas today. So we can rename it on your computer, or you can rename it within Canvas. I'm just going to go ahead and click and open it just to save time. All right, so there it is, along with a bunch of other screenshots that I have for my Bitmojis. Make sure the one you want is clicked and highlighted. And then here's where you could change the name. So if I want to change it and say, I've been calling them Bitmoji, and then whatever it is. This one is for virtual tools. And then down here, let's update. And here is your Bitmoji in your workspace. Now this is pretty big, so I want to resize this. Okay, that's better. And then I'm going to go ahead and link it to a page that I already have in my Canvas course, and that page is called Virtual Tools. So I'm going to click, make sure that you've got your Bitmoji selected that you want to create a link to. We're going to go on over here to this sidebar menu. It says links at the top. And since I'm linking it to a page, I'm going to go ahead and click Pages. But for example, if it was like my Mrs. Hagemeyer's read alouds, that's actually a module that I have, so I would have linked that to a module. We're going to go to Pages, since I'm finding my Virtual Tools page. Here it is. And now when I hover over it, it'll say Virtual Tools. So just to double check and make sure that everything worked, I just like to hover over it and make sure it is going to link me to the correct place. And then we click Save. Never forget to save it. All right, and that is it. So let's go ahead and triple check. And we will hover over and let's see if it takes us there. Yeah, so this is my Virtual Tools page where students can click on, yet again, more icons that will take them to these websites. And so these will actually take them to external URLs and take them out of Canvas to these different websites. So this is same process that I did, just showing you how to put the Bitmoji onto my homepage. I did that on my virtual tools page and linked them to URLs. Oops. And the background that you just saw was a zoomed in picture of my dog. All right, so what we can do is we can go back home, and I'm going to show you one other way that we can get that image on to our Canvas page. So again, I'm just editing. I'm in my workspace. I'm actually just going to get rid of that last one that I showed you real quick. Just select it, delete it. Okay, I've got my cursor where I want to put that image. Another way, instead of going over here to the embed image icon, I'm just going to go ahead and go over to the sidebar menu, click images, upload a new image, and select choose file, because again, it is on my computer if you haven't saved it onto Canvas. Now, in the last part of that tutorial, I did save it onto my Canvas, but I'm just showing you starting from scratch. If you have not put the image into Canvas yet, and you just want it off your computer, grab it off your computer, open it up, and again, it'll give you the option to name it something else. And that was for virtual tools. And now it's saving into course files. You can do this drop-down menu and select a different place. I just keep it in course files and upload. Okay, so here it is again. That was just a different way of grabbing that image off my computer and uploading it into my Canvas page. I'm resizing it to fit my needs. It is selected. And again, remember, we go over to the right side, links, pages, select the page that I would like it to go to. It's all the way down at the bottom. Virtual tools, and hover. Yep, it's there. Save it. And there we go. We've embedded an image, and that image is also linked to a page on our Canvas course. So it will take your student wherever you have linked it. Virtual tools. There we go. So that's it. That's all you do. Once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quickly. I know it seems like there's kind of a lot of steps, but it's really not too bad once you do it a bunch of times like I have. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. I hope that that taught you something valuable that you can use with your students, just making your Canvas page a little bit more kid-friendly with these images and links so that they're not searching all over. I like to just, now that I know how to use these features, I would like to be able to use this in my classroom and just have these images all on my home page. That way my students are not having to click anywhere really over here in this wordy sidebar, or they're not even gonna know what these words say. So I just want them clicking on images to take them where they need to go. So thanks for watching, guys. Okay, so that was just kind of a rundown on how to get those images and link them to pages or modules or even external URLs. Just a helpful tip before I finish up here, that virtual tools page, I got a lot of those icons that were already linked to URLs from our MCCSE resources page when you go in students and resources. This image here, you'll see the hand with the finger is popping up now because it is linked right to that section on the MCCSE page. So if you want to just go there and then you just highlight the icon that you want. So if you want them to go to like ABCF, that's already on there. You just highlight it, copy and paste it into your Canvas page that you are editing. So that is pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, hopefully.
real quick before we jump to Mitch, were there any questions for Chelsea about specifically what she was talking about there, linking images or using your Bitmoji? You can either put them in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask her. Okay, well then we will turn it over to Mitch.
Hi, my name is Mitch Packard. I teach kindergarten at Rogers. I've been there for, I think this will be my 8th year, and I have been in kindergarten the whole time. So like Chelsea was talking about, I do think it's important for our Canvas pages to have very kid-friendly navigation. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and I'm going to use a little bit more iPad. So I'm going to start to share that now. Okay, so you should now be looking at my iPad screen. So first thing I'll do is I'll show you, here's my Canvas page as well. You can see that I do have each area in school I have as an icon or as a picture to click on. I chose that for kindergarten because I think it's easier for them to be able to click on a picture. They can't read the words, so I can just say, find the writing notebook for your writing, or find the books for your reading. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is how to record your screen with your iPad. I have a lot of picture guides through here that you can go back and look at these slides later. I also have a video of me recording my iPad, so you can use that as well if you want to go back and watch that. And I think that recording on your iPad can be really helpful because all the students are going to have their iPads. They don't know how to access everything on their iPads, especially in K-2. That can be really hard for them to navigate. So what I could do is record my screen and show them how they access things. It could also be for parents too, so they can see how to access. In the spring, I used it a lot to show them how they can log on to Clever and get to the different apps that are on there. So the first thing you need to do when you want to start your screen recording is make sure that it's enabled on your iPad. So you need to go to Settings, and then you'll go to Control Center, which is right under General. And then Customize Controls. And then you'll see right here it's included. Mine is on there. It might not be, and if it's not, it'll be down under More Controls. You just need to find Screen Recording. Click the green plus, and it'll go up to the included section. So once it's there, you're ready to go. Now, I'm going to start my recording. Another thing that I like to record a lot, and I did all in the spring, was my OG lessons. And I would do that in Notability. So when you screen record, it's really great because it'll show you everything. And I chose to do screen recording on the iPad as opposed to recording me do it, because when I'm doing my OG, I can actually write the letter and they can see it being formed. And after you practice with it, it's really easy to use, and it's really nice for erasing. You can erase like that, but it won't erase any of your text that you put in. So if I want to do my OG lesson, I would get everything set up, and then in the upper right-hand corner, I slide down. And you will see this icon here. Mine's blinking red because I'm broadcasting my iPad through Zoom, so normally it won't be like that. And you'll click and hold it, and it'll pop up like this. Mine says that it's going to photos. It's not actually going to save in the photos, but you'll click where you want it to save. And one thing you need to always make sure is the microphone is on if you want to record your voice. There have been multiple times where I didn't check and I had to redo the entire lesson because I didn't have the microphone on. And just because you turn it on one time does not mean it'll stay on. So make sure it's on. Unless you want it off, then just leave it off if you're just recording just the screen. And then right here, it'll say start recording. You'll click that, and then it'll count down, and you'll have 3 seconds to get back to your screen. So once it starts recording, I can do my lesson, whatever it is I want to do. Say I do want to work on blending, and we're working on CAT. We do that, we do our lesson, and then when you're all done, you can go back up and click the icon again, and it'll say, mine says to stop screen broadcasting, but yours will say recording. So you'll click stop. I'm going to cancel it so I can keep going. And then it will save to your photo library. Okay, the next thing you can do is after you've recorded and you want to put it into your Canvas page, you have different choices of how you can do that. The one that I like to do is embed it into the Canvas page, and I'll show you how to do that. Another thing you can do is upload it to your files, but that takes up a lot of space. So that's why I like to embed. And another thing, if your recording is very long, or you've made mistakes in it, or you want to cut out a big section of it, you can, because you did it on your iPad, you can just open it up in iMovie and you can edit those things out. You can also save it to a smaller size, which makes it easier to upload as well. So let's say I'm going to put my lesson in writing. So I go to writing, and then I'll click edit. Okay, then I need to find this icon right here. I'll click on it, and I go to upload media, and then you'll select the video file from the photo library. That's where it's saved. And then I find the video that I want, click done. And then here, before you click use, you can play it one more time. Make sure you clicked on the right file if you want to make sure that that's correct. Click use, and then it'll go through the process of compressing it and uploading it and submitting the file. And then once it's done, it'll pop up. Go down to save. And now it's embedded onto this page. And I can play it right here. And then sometimes it'll say this, it's being converted. If you try and play it right after you insert it in, it won't work right away. But if I go back to home and then back to the writing, it might work already. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Yeah. So then it just uploads your video and your students can go and click on it and watch it from there. Now, like I said, I did a lot of my OG lessons on this. If you have an idea of something that you would use your iPad for screen recording, you could put it in the chat so we could share some ideas that you might have. Like I said, my ideas were a lesson for OG, or showing the students how to even access your Canvas page, how to click through, and for the parents how to do those things as well. Another thing, well, if anyone wants to put in some suggestions they might have, I'll go back to my slide, and I have pictures as well to do a picture guide if you want to know how to do the recording. And this is what the screen would look like when you are recording it, not like the one that I had. And another thing that I wanted to show you how to do was embed using Google Forms. So we know that with your Google Drive, you have different things. You can do slides, which is what I'm using here to present. You have Google Docs, you have forms. And slides is a great thing to show lessons when you embed that into Canvas. But those cannot be interactive when it's embedded onto your Canvas page. So what I wanted to show you how to do was use a Google form. So I'm going to go back to my page, and then let's see, I want to put one back in my writing again. We'll just use the same page for everything today. And I have this form that I want to put into my page. What's really neat about forms is there's some on Teachers Pay Teachers. You could create your own. There's a spot where you can make them put their name, And then you can put a whole bunch of questions on it. It can be multiple choice, it can be short answer, whatever you want to do with it. I'll give you an example of that in just a second. For now, I'm going to show you how to embed it. So we'll do a link first. So if you go to send, right here, you can click on the links, and then you can click copy. And then I'll go in here and edit. And I'll put it right underneath my last video. Well, I have a keyboard that's not working right now, so I got to turn it off. There we go. So if I want to do it here, I'll type in test, then I'll highlight it. And this is how you're going to make a link for it. And I'll click the links again here. And then I can just paste the link that I copied from my form. And now go down to save. Like Chelsea said, always make sure you save it. And then when I click on it, it will take your student to the form to fill out. That's one way to do it. I don't like to use that one quite as often because what you can do if you embed it instead is it saves the student from going to another page on another tab. So I'll show you how you can embed it instead. It's the same process. You just go to send, and then instead you'll click on the embed HTML link over here, and then copy that, and go back to your page and edit again. Let's see if I can do it without having to reset everything. Okay, so I'll put it at the top now. So if I want to embed it right here, I'll go to this icon that is right next to the insert table, embed, and then I'll just paste that same HTML that I just copied. Click OK. And then click save. And now the form is actually embedded in here. So what I can do is actually do the form here straight in the Canvas page. So then I put my name, and I can go through and I can answer them all. I'm not going to go through because there's 11 of them. But then when you get to the bottom, it says submit, and then you can actually see all the responses right after they're done. If you go to your drive and you open up your document, they'll all be right here. If you click on summary, go up here, here's the questions, and you can go to the responses. You have the summary if you want to see charts, or if you go to individual, you can actually look and see what each student got. So John here got 9 out of 11 right. Mo got 11 out of 11. So that's another way that you can embed it. One final way that you can use forms, and this is one that I've been really wanting to do with my students, is I have a place called Wonder Corner. And here we just talk about a wonder of the week. We have a whole bunch of past wonders, and I have links and videos in there that they can just click on and they can see everything. But one thing that we do is we give everyone a chance to ask a question about something that they wonder. So I've made an image here, and I click on it, and it takes you to another page with my Google form embedded. And it just says, what do you wonder? I don't have a spot for their name because they don't always have or on Post-it notes. So if there's any Office fans out there, I wonder what kind of bear is best. And then when I submit, it says it's been recorded. And then if I go over to mine, it shows up here. These are the wonders that have been submitted. So why is the sky blue and what kind of bear is best? are the two wonders that I've gotten from my class so far this summer. So if you would like to watch the video of how I embedded those again, I kind of went quickly through them. You have a video here, and I also have pictures of each step along the way. And also we had the two choices. You could embed it, which is nice for younger students because they don't have to go from Canvas to Google Drive and do different things like that and jump around. Or you can link it, and that can be good for interactive slides. There's a way that students can make a copy and save it to their Google Drive. But that whole process can be more difficult for younger students. So that's all I have to share with you. If you have any questions, let me. Oh.
Thank you so much, Chelsea and Mitch. That was a wide range of really great ideas and resources. And I love that you both included the directions so that we can go back and watch them later. Now we still have some time and we would love to hear, we have over 20 of you in this session. Are there any other things that worked really well for your students this spring with Canvas, especially with the littles, that you'd be willing to share? Anybody else besides Chelsea and Mitch, or of course Chelsea and Mitch if you have more that you've thought of. But this is really just a time for all of us to kind of talk together, collaborate with each other, and share ideas that can help each other should we need them in the fall or at any point during the year. I'm going to go ahead and read off some of the things that are being shared in the chat because I'm not sure if I have it set to record the chat. So for those of you watching later, I want to make sure you have this. Mandy from Fairview said, this was very helpful, and the YouTube series has been very helpful for me, called Canvas for Littles. If you're watching now, she did link it if you want to copy and paste that link for later. Or you could just make a note, Canvas for Littles is a YouTube series. Thank you, Mandy. Any other things that worked well for your students in the spring? Or if you have any questions and you're wanting to get some input from any of us, throw them in there. The screenshots are wonderful because we can jump from one to another. So we like those screenshots. Thank you guys for including those. Is the corporation curriculum team planning to pre-populate Canvas with grade level student work so teachers don't have to each do it separately? I'm not sure of the answer to this, other than I know that we are really hoping that this fall we can all work together so that not everybody is doing the same thing in 13 different buildings. So I know we encouraged people in the spring to use a certain hashtag on Canvas. It didn't really take off the way that we hoped it would, but basically in Canvas, let's say you really liked Chelsea's page. If she links it to the Canvas Commons using our MCCSC hashtag and you find it in there, you can pull it straight into your course and then make edits from there. So if we all work together to drop our resources into Canvas and tag them with MCCSC, that will really save each other a lot of work because we can all share resources that way. Are you creating your work on a laptop or your iPad? Chelsea, Mitch, do you guys want to weigh in? I think it looked like Mitch was using his iPad.
Yeah, I created a lot of mine on my iPad, but I also use a laptop to do a lot of it. It depends on what it is you're trying to create. It's nice to do your iPad because you can take screenshots of things really easily, and then you can even edit those and add writing and text over it like I was doing for my examples. And then you can upload those. So that's one reason why I like to do iPad.
Good question. Somebody asked, do we have a set look for our Canvas page the corporation would like to have for each grade? Not necessarily. No, the corporation right now is working on some general guidelines that will kind of help with consistency. I know one thing that we heard from parents was, and this students can't, and I have 3 different students and all of their Canvas courses are set up totally differently, and I can't figure out where to find things from one teacher to the next. This is even a problem like for middle and high school when one student has multiple teachers. You can imagine that there's lots of different ways to set up a Canvas course, and we just want to make it as easy as possible for students and parents to navigate through so that they're really spending their time on the content and not spending all their time searching for things. So we have those templates that we've used in the past, you know, like the superhero template. You're not required to use that template by any means, but we are hoping for some consistency as far as navigation being really organized for all grade levels. That's still in the works. We're hoping to finish that up this week, getting that out, but it is going to be pretty broad. It's not going to be like everybody has to have this button, everybody has to have this button. It's going to just be some guidelines that'll help you with your organization. Good question.
Katie, do you know can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can't tell because I'm on like the phone and Zoom and it's weird. Do you know if we need to keep anything that's on that current one from last year? Is there anything, like if I'm going through and trying to clean it up to make it ready for this year, is there anything that I cannot delete? Or like I know our special features entered some stuff in there, and I don't know what I can and can't do basically.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the course that you had this past year will not be the same course that you will keep for next year. The way that MCCSC rosters your courses is through Skyward. So whenever you get a new roster of students in Skyward, they'll create a brand new Canvas course for the 2020-2021 school year. But you don't have to start over. You'll be able to import any of the content that you want from the spring right into your new course. So if there's any pages or any assignments or modules, whatever it is, if you have any content in your course that you've been using up to this point that you want to bring into your new course, you can import that. And I'm actually working on a webinar this afternoon that I'm going to record. It'll be a short one for how to import content from one course to another. The other thing that Chelsea mentioned was she set up what's called a sandbox course. That's basically just any course that you can set up to just play around. So if you're working this summer and you didn't really love what you did in the spring, but you don't have your course rostered for the fall, and you're trying to figure out where you should be playing around and creating new things, you can just create a new course and call it your sandbox course. To do that, you just log into Canvas, and on the right side, you'll see an option to make a new course. And then any content that you make in there that you really like for example, Chelsea's Bitmoji page, she can just pull that right into her new course once it's rostered. So to answer your question, deleting anything in your previous course won't matter because nobody will have access to that course anymore. You will be getting a brand new course that'll be newly rostered. But anything that you love from the old course can easily be brought over.
Okay, so do we need to take anything from the old course and put it into the sandbox now, or will we still have access to the old course when we get our new course?
Good question. You will still have access to your old course when you get your new course. In fact,
Perfect.
I still
Thank
have
you so
courses
much.
from like 2014. So they don't go away. You still have access to your old courses that you can pull stuff from whenever you need them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And you can always pull stuff over even if you won't need it for a while and just keep it unpublished just so that you have it in your new course too. Mandy commented that if you set up your Canvas content through pages, not modules, there is a new button at the top that says Immersive Reader. When a student pushes that button, it will read the typed content on the page out loud to the students. I'm not sure if it works for things you've embedded yet. I'm still playing around with it, but I thought it was great for K-2. And that is a great feature. I noticed it at the top of one of Mitch's pages whenever he was there. So basically any text that you put into a page, it will read out loud to the students. So that's something to keep in mind when you're setting up your pages. Any text that you type in or copy and paste in. Now, if I screenshot a picture of text and put that in, it won't read that. It just reads text. But it is a great feature, especially for the young ones. Thank you, Mandy.
Could you repeat that? How does that work?
Yeah, it's called the Immersive Reader. It's a button that shows up at the top of any page that you create. So when you're in Canvas and you're setting up your different pages, like let's say you have a page for reading and there's a short blurb of text at the top, there's an Immersive Reader button that will read that text out loud to the students. But if your text is actually like a screenshot of an image, it won't read that. It will only read actual text that you've either typed in or copy and pasted in. And it's already, the immersive reader's already in there. You don't have to do anything to get it. It's a feature, not that you need to know the whole story, but it's a feature that Canvas is currently piloting, but they've been piloting it for a long time. So we're hoping that they are hoping too, that they can just make it a full-time feature. Any other questions or things that worked really well for your students? I know that K-2 students didn't have iPads in the spring. If we go to remote learning this year, the plan is that they will have their iPads. So just know that that is coming, and that's another reason why it's really important to get your students used to seeing your Canvas page, using your Canvas page, knowing how to navigate it. The other thing, and I am not the right person to ask on the details of this, but to keep in mind that you could have students that are out for 2 weeks at a time or longer. And so to have content on Canvas that they can access will be very helpful. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, we can go ahead and wrap up a little bit early. We thank you so much for all of your ideas and your questions. You can always shoot me an email. Oh, we got another question. Are we still getting a new iPad 7 that Tim mentioned before that is more Canvas friendly? That is a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but Tim would. So I can definitely ask him. If you think of anything else, feel free to shoot me an email. I mentioned that we're going to post the video link and also their slides in multiple places. The Google Doc where you guys got the link for today, we'll just replace that Zoom link with the video link and also the slides. I will also post it to a Canvas PD page, our Canvas Professional Learning page. I'll just put it as many places as I possibly can in hopes that everyone will see it. But if you see it and want to email it out to your colleagues, your PLC teams, just so that they have it if they want it, I think that would be great too. I'll try to get that done by the end of the day today, depending on how long it takes for this recording to upload onto YouTube. Katie, do you know if that's it? Yes, all of the links, like yesterday, Ann Leftwich from IU did a great PD. There's a 3 to 6 PD that's going on at the same time as this one. There will be lots of other PDs happening all week. All of those will be recorded and linked in that PD document that was sent out to everybody, and we'll also put it in the Professional Learning Canvas course. Shoot me an email if you think of anything else. My email is kesparks@mccsc.edu, and Chelsea and Mitch both included their emails on the slide, so I'm sure they would be happy to answer any questions that you have too. But thank you so much to Chelsea and Mitch. Those were incredibly helpful resources. And thank you to everybody else that shared too. We'll stick around for a few more minutes if anybody has an individual question. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. And everybody have a great last few weeks of your summer. And we will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.